Hey everybody, how's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to an episode of my hip hop review, and I'm about to review tonight is Jay Z's The Black Album. His excuse me, his eighth studio album, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, released on in 2003. Released in 2003 on Rockefeller under Def Jam. Singles I was known for are Change Clothes, Get Off Your Shoulder, 99 Problems, and what more can I say was more street single? It was more street single and stuff like that. Producers include Jay Z, Damon Dash, Kareem Biggs Bird, 3H, Ninth Wonder, shouts Ninth Wonder, Alcor, Just Blaze, Kanye West, The Buchanans, The Neptunes, Timbaland, Eminem, Lewis, Westo, Rick Rubin, and DJ Quick. Alright, so let's take it back to 2003. Hmm. I mean, back fucking 2002. Um, the albums from Jay Z I have reviewed are In My Lifetime Volume 1, in Volume 2, Hard Knock Life, and Blueprint 2, The Gift and the Curse. Now, when it comes to, after like, he dropped Blueprint 2, Gift and the Curse, the album, I did not really like that album like that. I felt like that album was all over the place. Hmm. Then he dropped the Blueprint 2.1, where it kind of had tracks that did not appear on Blueprint 2 and stuff like that. And yeah, fast forward to that's 2002 to 2003. He was working on this album, and he announced at he announced on tour that this was going to go. He actually did an album with R. Kelly. I forgot to mention the Best of Both Worlds album. Eh, you guys know the story about that. I ain't gonna get into that. And like, he made headlines on tour that this was gonna be his last album and stuff like that. So yeah. So Black Album 2003. This is originally supposed to be Jay Z's final album, but about 13 years later, look at him now. If I'm gonna say that. Now, pre-dope coat cover right here. Cover has like him, just chilling and stuff. What's not like that? Just chilling like that. It kind of like has like a. It's like him just. How can I put this? Yeah, like it's gonna be his last joint. Like he's gonna drop some fire and stuff like that. Yeah, I got the vinyl today. Yeah, you should probably see that picture of Jay before. Yeah. Okay. Right. Now I'm just gonna be real with you guys. My opinion about this album is going to be surprising. It's going to be very surprising. That's all I'm going to say. Track number one, Interlude. Well, guest appearances include Pharrell, mostly Pharrell. Yeah, he's like the only major guest appearance. But you have, yeah, alright. Track number one, Interlude, which is kind of weird because you don't hear a lot of people. Oh, I forgot to mention. Dr. Dre and DJ Premier, they were originally supposed to be on this produced on this album too, because he wanted to have one track, one producer, but then they failed to make the cut. And this is a story I have read. I kind of find a little funny and stuff like that. So like You guys know so when it came to DJ Premier and Jay Z, they kind of stopped working with each other like 1999. They start at the Volume 3, The Life and Times of S. Carter. From what I looked up, excuse me, it's just that like there are times when Primo is late. Like I read, I think it was an interview, somebody associated with Jay Z. I think it was Jeff Blaze or somebody. They said at times Primo would come late, and Jay Z would be like, nah, like, cause Jay Z he's like always a perfectionist. He's always wants this shit on time, and it's not Jay Z's not the only artist that kind of be like, oh, Primo's late with a certain beat, because he's not the only artist. Because I know a lot of rappers or MCs are kind of complaining how Primo would come late to a studio. Yeah, I kind of thought that was funny, but anyway, back to interlude. Now, you don't really hear a lot of hip hop albums start the track with an interlude. You don't really hear a lot about that. So yeah, pretty nice way to set the tone of the album. Um, the speech on that album, Just Blaze actually wrote the speech though. I thought that was pretty cool. Track number two, December 4th. Um, that song was a pretty okay song, pretty cool. The thing that threw me, I'm not too fan, not a big fan of that beat on that song. I don't know why. I thought that beat was a bit too polished, but not to an extent. So basically, it's like a autobiographical song about Jay Z and stuff like that. And his mom's actually on the song too, which gives it a more personal feeling, if you ask me. Track number three, What More Can I Say? One of my favorite songs off this album, and it's a classic song. Like a lot of quotables off this whole album, like just amazing. And I feel like this song is among his most quotable songs. It's more like a braggadocio song, but he's kind of saying like I've accomplished so much in the hip hop game. What more can I say? What more can I do? And stuff like that. But there's some kind of lines that I that really were like very some lines that like you know how people say like oh he's always using Biggie's lyrics. So he said, I say a big verse, I'm only bigging up my brother, bigging up my bro, I'm big enough to do it. I'm that thorough, but I know my flow is foolish. But he follows up with the Biggie quotable, like, bring him out, which was, that line was later sampled for T.I.'s hit, Bring Him Out, off the Urban Legend album. An album I need to get my hands on, by the way. So yeah, I kind of thought that was kind of interesting. And, this song actually caused some controversy because there was this line where he was kind of, he said, and no, I ain't got to shut up a whole bunch of times or make up shit in a whole bunch of lines. And I ain't animated like say Busta Rhymes, but the real shit you get when you say bust down my lines. That line actually got him, Busta Rhymes actually went after Jay over that line 'cause I think he took it as a diss. But if you ask me, um, cause you know how Buster is, I don't feel like that was like a really like a diss towards Buster. It was kind of like, oh wow, it's just like a compliment. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what I think. One more can I say? Dope song right there. There we have Encore. Um, that song grew on me as well. That beat like that, very classy beat one. Then we have Change Clothes, which is one of my favorite songs. Another one of my favorite songs off the album featuring Pharrell. Basically, self-explanatory is talking about how people need to change clothes, stop wearing the jerseys, like, and just acting presentable, like work on your appearance. And that's crazy because when this song came out, from what I looked up, according to what's that cat's name, David Stern, he said that the jersey, the sales for the jerseys went down a little bit. So yeah. Then we have Dirt Off Your Shoulder. One of my least favorite songs off this album. Probably my least favorite. I know what y'all thinking. How can you hate Dirt Off Your Shoulder? Well, I always hated that song, even when I first heard it a while back. Like, I'm, don't get me wrong, the beat by Timbaland was pretty dope. I like the beat. But I just felt like it got overplayed. It was kind of like oversaturated as well. Never really a feel like that. And I kind of felt it was just like a weak club track. That's my opinion. Then we have Threat featuring Cedric the Entertainer. He's kind of like on like the interlude of that track. Wait, I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, never mind, never mind. That's actually a pretty dope song, pretty underrated song. Um, Ninth Wonder produced a beat off that, and I love how you flipped that R. Kelly sample. Yeah, shout out to Ninth Wonder by the way. I felt that was a pretty interesting track. Then we have Moment of Clarity. Um, again, a good track. I do like that track, but the beat. I know Eminem produced the beat, and I like Eminem as a producer at certain songs, but that beat does not really fit Jay Z in my opinion. It would more fit Eminem style. Like I felt like that beat should have been like on like the Eminem show or even on D12's first Devil the D12 the first solo I mean the first D12 album Devil's Night. I felt like though that beat should have been perfect on that, I don't know how it didn't really fit this album in my opinion. But Moment of Clarity, basically was talking about he's just looking back in his life, he's looking back and all that, and yeah, that's all I got from that. Next song, 99 Problems, one of my all-time favorite Jay-Z songs. I mean, just the whole energy, the classic Rick Rubin beat, actually his first beat in years, by the way. I mean, when when you're having girl problems, I feel bad. When you hear that, you just automatically get like you just automatically cause some mayhem and stuff like that. Now, originally, this was originally an Ice T cover way back in the Home Invasion album, 1993. Dope album, by the way. I need to get my hands on. So technically, this song is actually a cover, but for the Ice T version and stuff like that, we'll just hear the Ice T version, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, the second verse is probably my favorite Jay Z verse he has ever done, and one of his best verses. Period. Where um, he is actually based off a true story. If you read his Decoded book, very dope book by the way. He kind of did that verse to confuse critics, and and he wanted to point out the ignorance of like hiding a deeper story with a superficial chorus. So yeah, basically it's talking about his drug dealing and stuff like that. Very dope song, by the way. Very, very, very dope song. I don't hear a lot of people. I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of people talk about 99 Problems, but in some of the great Jay Z songs, they always seem to leave this one out for some odd reason. I feel like this is probably one of his best songs. Period. Maybe my favorite song off this album is that and the next one, which is the public service announcement interlude. Just Blaze made that beat. I mean, this is probably another debate on my favorite song, and I love how like it might have been an interlude, but he put his heart in that shit. Like you know what I'm saying? Like allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho. I mean, you hear that, you just automatically start bopping your head. Yeah, I admit that song does get a bit overplayed, but I can tolerate whenever time that song comes on. It's a very good song, even for the interlude. And a little trivia. Um, According to Jay Z, he actually wrote that second verse and stuff like that very different from the first verse. Excuse me. Cause like he basically but like he was a self-made millionaire in the race society that it just felt right from just felt right from to do that. You know what I'm saying? So just listen to the second verse and the first verse. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Then we have Justify My Thug. Oh, another interesting track. Another interesting trivia about that. And the interlude after the first verse, where it's like saying stuff like, hold on. It's like, when I'm gone, I'm gone. Like, basically, what is that with? Yeah. The little interlude after the first show, he's like, now before I finish, let me just say, I found this very interesting, but he is quoting the Whitney Houston interview that she done with Wendy Williams and stuff like that. Because when I first heard that, I was like, this kind of sound like Whitney, but I'm not too sure. Yeah. And another thing too, this originally was not supposed to be in the album, but the 11th hour before the album came out, it was like a last minute decision to put this song in there. So yeah. Now back to Justify My Thug. One of my probably the weakest song off this album. Yeah. There you have Lucifer. Another song I kind of get annoyed by. Ugh. Allure. Believe it or not, this actually Allure is actually Jay Z's favorite song though. Basically, it's like temptations of going back to the drug dealing game. That's basically what I got from that song. And yeah, basically that. And last but not least, my first song, which he kind of used the Biggie song, and that song basically talking about how treat everything like it's your first time and stuff like that. Okay, whew. My opinion about this album, probably his most overrated album, if you ask me. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a few high points in this album, but there are also a few low points. Man, I'm gonna talk about the low points. Like, I felt like some of the production was just some of the production kind of threw everything off. Like, sometimes there was some good beats here, like what more can I say? 99 Problems. Then he had some beats like fucking like Justify My Thug, like December 4th. It was kind of like the production kind of threw everything off. And if you hear Jay's previous albums like fucking Reasonable Doubt, um, it had like that smooth, jazzy kind of Godfather-ish kind of production that you have in My Lifetime Volume One, where you kind of have like the late '90s kind of shiny suit era mixing with some boom bap. Like, don't get me wrong. Even in some of Jay's weeks albums up to that point, like hell, even Volume Two, Hard Knock Life, production was kind of better on that. But this album, the production was just all over the place. Like, when he said like he was gonna have a different producer with each track, like sometimes when people artists have like a different producer on each track on the album, sometimes the production might just be all over the place because it won't fit the theme of the whole album. Another thing, I feel like some songs were kind of like very. It's like it might have some good songs, they might have some bad and good and bad. Like "Do It Off Your Shoulder," I cannot stand that song. Then you have Lucifer. Like I even have iffy feelings about my first song though. So yeah, but other than that, would I call this album a classic? I'll put it to you this way. I won't get mad if people do call this album a classic. I would not get mad about that. I mean, it's a good album, like, but it's not as good as people make it out to be. Like, people be like, "Oh my God, the Black Album, Black Album." Like that shit is crack. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is a good album, but it's an okay album. But it's not like, oh my god, you have to hurry up and get this album. It's not like on that level. So yeah, mm. And it's kind of crazy because 1 year later, he became president of Def Jam. He dropped the album Linkin Park and stuff like that. So I think he was just trying to take a break from rapping around this time because even after this, he was still popping in people's singles. He was just trying to take a little break, trying to rediscover himself. That's if you ask me. But other than that, this is a this is Jay Z's The Black album, 2003. Must have in your collection. And before I sign out, I just want to say I am actually planning on reviewing Reasonable Doubt. I know some people have been asking me, but I was trying to do that review with my homeboy Shamar Kuji, because he does like that album, so that's why I kind of put that album review on hold for right now. So stay tuned for more stuff. This is your boy. Peace.